If by some chance, some stroke of luck, or some act of God, you have stumbled upon this broadcast, you are listening to The Chivalry Chronicles with your host, Dr. DLH.
I'm a damn doctor.
David.
We're going to bring the tea.
refuse
To not drink during the podcast.
Yeah.
And me, Jaime. They need to make podcast equipment a lot more expensive to get some of these clowns off the air. Gather around as we discuss a modern, manly approach to chivalry. So I hope you're ready, because I know we are. So let's get into it.
Always trying to get into this.
Oh, okay. That kind of sounded pretty good. So, I wish I could do like a real serious intro, but with these guys, man, if you know David and DLH, Dr. DLH, because I'm a damn doctor, the fitness professional,
The fitness professional.
Let it go.
the self-proclaimed behaviorist, the self-proclaimed human thesaurus. What is the rest of your bragging montage?
Supposedly he's humble, too.
Oh, shit.
I don't know what either one of you is talking about right now.
The self-proclaimed whisperer.
He looked like a dog. He could be a dog whisperer.
Anyway.
It's not me. It's my degrees and my credentials.
DLH Milan.
Mark that. Mark. Okay. So today the topic is going to be based on an article from the New York Post that came out April of last year. And the title is, and then I'll let your mind go into that
Go deep into
Dirty
it.
space.
yeah, that dirty space.
Dirty space.
Daily showers are purely performative and have no real health benefit. Experts insist. So anyway, so this article goes on to say that taking showers has no real health benefit, that it's mostly a societal thing. People do it because that's what they do. The article says, experts say that the daily shower has no proven health benefit, dismissing the dousing of a socially accepted practice geared towards staving off accusations of funkiness. A-listers like Jake Gyllenhaal and Mila Kunis. And then we'll have a list of other celebrities who don't bathe daily, but
We want the funk. Give us the funk. Now we need the funk.
so then this author, I'll call him Donna Chad McCarthy. He has a real peculiar spelling.
Isn't he a
But he
coach for the
says-
Cowboys?
McCarthy? Yeah, Coach McCarthy, who's still waiting to know whether he's going to be the coach next year.
Pending a shower.
Pending the shower, yeah. It says this author says he only hoses off once per month to help the environment. And he goes on to say that it's a lifestyle choice inspired by spending 2 weeks in the Amazon with the indigenous Yanomami people. So this guy spent 2 weeks in the Amazon, and because they don't take
the Amazon, or he was shopping on Amazon?
no, he was in the Amazon.
Oh, okay.
And then, so I guess around that group of people, they don't shower but once a month. So he decided, I'm going to do that for the rest of my life. And I think, Dr. DLH, what was your comment on that when we were kind of going through the article?
That would be socially acceptable if you remain
In the Amazon.
context of the social group in which that is acceptable. Right.
Yeah.
So like even when you go all the way back to Western days, let's take it away from that culture and into another. When there's a lack of access to water in that degree, right? There were a lot less showers or bathing that took place in between, but because you had limited access to things, everyone knew that. Everyone was subject to that. And so whatever smells came from wherever, everyone knew that was just what you had to deal with for the time.
And back then I read that you basically had one bathtub, and then so it was like the oldest would take a shower, and then they would reuse the same water.
Same water, yeah.
Because you didn't have a lot of access to water. So anyway, this guy goes on. He said he opts to instead for a wash at the sink using a cloth to give his body a good scrub. So basically, he doesn't take a shower. The other,
Yeah, we don't want no scrubs.
there's a Manhattan dermatologist, Dr. Julie Rusak, previously told a Post that prolonged and daily showers could strip away the skin's microbiome, which plays a role in protecting the skin, and it's also extremely important in the overall health of the body. Chemists.
I just want to ask this person.
Okay, we'll get him on the phone. Hold on.
Yeah. I want to ask. So, if we're bathing and we're stripping ourselves of all the good bacteria,
Oils
are we
and everything.
living? Are we living longer than the ones that we're not?
No, we are living longer.
Yeah. What the?
I mean, if you want to reduce it down, I think the lifespan now it's well, for men it's less than women, but yeah, people are living 75 years now, as opposed to back in the day where people were dying in their 50s and stuff.
Yeah. Well, but I don't know if that's it. I mean,
I don't think it's corollary.
Like,
yeah.
well, even if it is, correlation is not causation, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know that anybody has taken the time to do a correlational study for like showering
Taking a
to
bath,
life
yeah.
expectancy, because we have bigger issues and
Right.
More things that are taking lives at a higher degree, I imagine, than that. But I think the curious point is, like, right now, most of science and medical professionals would tell us, if you want to avoid being sick and getting all these other things, wash your hands, right?
Yeah.
And if you got to wash your hands so often to avoid that, why wouldn't you shower if your body is subject to all of the same?
If the pandemic taught us anything, is that if you just wash your hands, you won't get sick as much. I mean, everything carries bacteria and stuff like that. I mean, doorknobs, tables, restrooms are like the dirtiest places. Your freaking phone, like everything. If you just wash your hands and just be good about that, it gets rid of most of sickness, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this other guy said that he hadn't showered in 12 years. Instead, sprays himself with good bacteria that he claims neutralizes. So this is what I don't get, right? He claims neutralizes the body's smell making. How about we ask the dude next to you whether it freaking neutralizes it? Like, I'm sorry, if you're not bathing it weeks at a time for 12 years, you stink. And somebody has to tell you. Like, these people probably don't work.
Well, I think that's the premise of this article, though, is that because technically, if we're talking about bacteria on the body for health purposes, right? You can neutralize bacteria, but not get rid of the odor associated with the accumulation of it, right? So there is a way to do that, and I think that's the argument of the article, is that there is a way that you can
neutralize.
Yeah, that you can neutralize some of the bad bacteria, but
some,
that you may not necessarily smell any better. So
right.
That's why it becomes performative.
Yeah,
spray yourself with some Aquanet.
So it says also in 2021, researchers at Harvard Health found that 66% of Americans shower every day, while a 2005 report claims that it is common for Brits to shower once or twice per day. Now, I want to ask you guys, David, on the average in a week, Monday through Friday, how many times do you shower?
7
times?
Yeah, typically
So
before
twice,
bed.
But no, like Monday to Friday.
Yeah, every night.
So that's 5.
Oh, yeah.
No, there's 7 days in a week.
No, but I said on Monday through Friday. I just kept that. I mean, you can make it. You can make it Monday through
7.
Sunday. So 7.
Yeah, I hope everybody's still showering on the weekend.
No, but I wanted to look at during the week, just for my own personal purposes.
Because you don't shower on the weekend?
Your own sinister
on the weekend. No.
Okay.
So you, DLH, you're a fitness professional. And speaking in that,
my goodness.
in a week from Monday through Sunday, how many times?
That's 7 days again.
That's outside of the scope of practice for
Right.
fitness professional, by the way. But
But I think it plays a role in it.
health, I guess. Sure. Okay. Either way, I shower at least once a day.
Okay.
And just like Dave, like nighttime, right before you go to bed, shower off all the stuff, right? So at least that. But if I work out at a separate point, there's a shower after the workout.
Absolutely.
And then after bed.
And that's what I wanted to get to. Like for me, I shower in the morning. And my son and I work out 3 days a week. So we work out after work. And so I shower at night. So on the average, those 3 days, well, actually every day during the week, I shower twice. And then there's the times where, because I shower every morning, I get up, shower. That's just how I operate, right? So let's say I go to the gym at noon. I get up on Tuesday, I get up, take a shower, go to work, go to the gym, run, take a shower at the gym.
Yeah, I would do that. I
Come home.
the same.
And if Joaquin wanted to work out that night, I would shower again. So there's those days I take 3 showers. There is no way of getting out of that. There's no way I'm going back to work after a 3-mile run or a whatever. There's no way I'm going back to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, just subjecting.
And I don't know about you guys, but I know when I laid down and I was unable to take a shower, there's just like this coating of, I don't know, bacteria or something. Even if I didn't do anything that night, it's almost like humid.
Especially if you sweat it.
Like
it's sticky. It's like,
and it doesn't feel comfortable.
Yeah. Okay, when we go to Legacy Weekend and we're camping, we arrive there, say 2 or 3 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Do you take a shower before you go to sleep?
I do. I still do.
Do you take a shower in the morning?
No, not in the morning.
Okay.
Not in the morning.
I've done both because when you're putting the tent up and getting all unloading and all that, and you sweat because we go camping in June, which is the hottest, some of the hottest time, and it's freaking 100 degrees, and you're just basically sitting in your own sweat the whole day. Now we jump in the lake and then we swim around and that stuff. But even that lake water.
Now, Jaime, you can't be counting dipping in the lake as one of your showers.
No, that's what I was.
Morning shower.
That's what I was gonna get to. Is like jumping in the lake doesn't do it.
No,
you have to wash that off too.
Yeah, you got to wash that off too.
Okay, so this article is it's interesting. If you want to read it, it came out in back in it's in New York
1918.
Post. No, it's 2024. There was another article that I ran into, which I thought was funny because when I saw that article. And I saw it around the same time that it came out, and I clipped it just because it's an interesting topic. And then I started looking for like opposing views, and then I ran into another one that was the year before, right? It was like July of 23, and it said the black people I know take a shower every day. Isn't necessary, and he wanted on to say like, "Hey man, showers are necessary," and it was pretty funny because. You have all these scholars and, a chemist and all these people like, no, it's not necessary. But then you have just regular people like, bro, it's necessary. So let's look at celebrities. I found a list of celebrities who don't shower daily. And some of these might be, like what? And others, yeah, you've heard of Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. They've said it over and over they have their podcast, and they only bathe their 4 and 6-year-old children when they see dirt on them. That's what they have said. Now, my kids shower every day. They would get a shower I think we put them down for the night at about 8:30 or something. They would get a shower right before that. Shower, get lathered up, and we use all the all the aromas for get them to get sleepy and stuff, lavender and stuff like that.
Bourbon.
And then they go to bed. They go to bed. But they would shower. We would give them a shower every day. I don't know. I think this is inhumane to only give your kids a shower when they see dirt on them. So that's one. The other one is Dak Shepard and Kristen Bell, which kind of surprised me. They say the same thing. Kristen Bell is like, I'm not a big fan of waiting for the stink. Once you catch a whiff, the biology's way letting you know you need to clean up. Like, why don't you just do it every day? Like, that's preventative, preventative maintenance. You don't go to the dentist whenever you have a cavity. You go regularly, just make sure everything's good, right? So I see it as preventative more so than you're like reactive. Jake Gyllenhaal, Coco Austin, which I thought that was, who Coco Austin is? Ice-T's wife. No.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no, I know her.
I thought that was crazy. Brad Pitt, yeah, I could see Brad Pitt. Charlize Theron, I didn't know that. She's a great actress. And then the other one, Matthew McConaughey, which we all you would not be surprised if somebody said that. One of the stories that I read was that, who is it? She's an actress that was with him in a movie that part of the contract was that he had to wear deodorant because she said, I could smell him a mile away. And so she's like, I'm not working with this fool unless he wears deodorant. This dude doesn't shower.
Because he doesn't smell all right.
Yeah. So.
And who would that be? Who was the actress?
It was Kurt Russell's stepdaughter.
Kate Hudson?
Kate Hudson, yes. I couldn't remember her name. Yeah, she's like, we can't do that. And I mean, you look at Matthew McConaughey and he just looks like he doesn't. If you ever heard him on an interview, he doesn't care about anything.
He cares about some things.
About himself.
I don't know. Maybe we hear him differently. I don't think that he's like self-absorbed. I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him in that bucket.
Yeah, he is. Board approved.
Maybe you're looking at something else.
I've seen him in several interviews.
Maybe he picks his causes.
And
I'm pretty sure his Latina wife puts him in check.
Apparently not. If there had to be written in the contract where he had to wear some deodorant.
No, that's because she's jealous. She was like, "Hey."
So I know when he accepted an award, he said he has no. I don't have any role models. My role model is me 10 years from now. I was like, what? Get the fuck out of here! Like,
fool, he's in a fucking Lincoln. Leave him alone.
Yeah, that's just
man. If your role model,
talk.
If your role model is you 10 years from now, come on now. That's a little self-absorbed, isn't it?
No, that is aspirational talk. He's in self-talk trying to aspire to something larger. He doesn't want to
himself.
Himself in 10 years being successful and hopefully the person he wants to become.
In his mind.
So
sure.
I think we all have some version of that. Somebody that we want to become, right? But
but you don't want to become yourself in 10 years. That's just kind of weird.
I think that there's an element. Maybe you're just or maybe he's not saying it right. There's an element to that argument that is more existential than anything. And he's trying to say, I don't want to lock myself in by aspiring to be someone else. I want to be me,
the better version.
But I want to be a better version of me. So I look forward 10 years.
If you listen to it, it doesn't come off. I understood exactly what he said, but when I heard it, I was like, all right, whatever, dude.
You understood what he said.
I understood what he said, but he's just, to me, he's one of those actors that has a limited role. Like I think his best performance. Anyway, let's move on from McConaughey.
You started it.
Yeah, I did. His best role is probably a detective, that HBO. True Detective. Yeah, he was really great in that one.
That Muddy Water or whatever it's called, Muddy Waters
But anyway, he stank.
Oh. Oh shit.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
That's a damn good movie.
Yeah, that was.
So, all right. So anyway, those are celebrities.
I think it was just called Mud.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
He sucks. No, he's okay.
No, he's better than all right.
Yeah.
He's terrible.
I think he's entertaining. Yeah.
He serves a role, right? It's like he's kind of the same way as Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds almost plays the same character in just about every movie. I mean, he's Ryan Reynolds.
But you get paid. I get paid to do the same damn job every day.
No, if you're an actor, you should be able to.
You go and you do engineer stuff. You're paid as a fitness professional.
No, but I think if you get Ryan Reynolds gets a lot of roles because he's funny as Ryan Reynolds. So if he keeps getting hired as Ryan Reynolds, then why are you messing with it?
You want
what I'm saying? That's why I said he has a limited role. He has a limited like hit range, I guess.
I guess, but there are plenty of like really successful actors that are that get hired to be themselves.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, and then some don't push to change that.
Yeah.
Like some do, like some actors, actresses want to make the point, hey, I can do other roles besides be hilarious. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Now,
Anyway,
at the end of the day,
so
he doesn't take a shower.
yeah,
Okay.
McConaughey doesn't. Ryan Reynolds, I don't know. I don't know about Ryan Reynolds. I'm pretty sure he does. But those are celebrities
Allegedly.
that
Allegedly,
who don't shower daily. So anyway, we were talking about this. And I think I mentioned it in another podcast. I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about colognes because Joaquin has gotten into colognes, and he has, I want to say, over $1,200 worth of colognes in his freaking room.
to hide the fact that he doesn't shower.
That's that good bacteria.
I don't know if that's the case, but he's gotten on this.
Real quick.
Yes.
I think I asked this before the podcast, but just want to put you guys on the spot. So, homeboy in the article sprays himself with good bacteria. What the hell is that?
I have no idea.
What the hell?
No idea.
Yeah, anybody? Was he the guy that went to the Amazon? Because I don't know if I should type in Amazon. Hey, good bacteria spray.
There
Does it exist? Does it exist?
is a citrus scent 24-hour disinfectant.
Disinfectant or good bacteria?
There's a probiotic body spray for men that cleans your skin. It's all natural probiotic spray that helps with rashes, bug bites, yeast, odors.
How much does it cost?
It is $7. Skin Smart Men's Intimate Spray.
Okay, so somebody's trying to find a way to shower without showering.
Okay, so it's an issue, right? That's like whenever they, those commercials like, oh, your trash bag stinks. Spray this on it. Like, no, just take the trash out and put it. Like you're covering up.
Yeah, but it's a new bag. Well, then you shouldn't have thrown food in it. That's what stinks.
So on that, back to kind of round it out. DLH, do you? Okay, so the thing was Joaquin is into colognes, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't use colognes." And then the other guy that was there, was three of us, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't either. You still use cologne?" And I was like, "Yeah, yes." Like what? Like when did we not stop using cologne? Do you use cologne?
I don't, but I don't use cologne because the scent of the cologne counteracts or interferes with the scent of my
With
beard
your bad
oils.
bacteria?
I use like beard oils and beard balms, and they're all scented.
But so you want to use scented? There's no unscented?
I don't. Well, because the companies that I found that use unscented, they're just not the ones I prefer. Like
and you don't want clashing odors or clashing smells.
Because if you, I don't like. I used to use colognes a lot when I didn't have a beard as much as I do now. When it was like really short, right in college, I used cologne all the time, but now that I always have a beard and it's always like after showering, it's a whole regimen. I got to oil it to a certain degree. I have to put balm in it. And there's all this stuff, and so when I pick the scents that I like based on the season, like colognes. So it already gives off a scent of cologne, and if I put more cologne, to me, that's one of the worst things is when you walk into a space and you don't even know who yet, but their smell has already preceded them.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn, who put on that much
There's
cologne?
always a wrong way to do something now. So.
Right. So I will use it. I do have some beard balms and stuff that if I want to have a certain scent, because I have a ton of colognes. They're just sitting there waiting for me to use them. And if I want to use one, then I'll make sure that I use the beard balm that is more subtle, and I'm careful about how much of it I use so that I can then use the cologne.
Right.
But so I guess if we're talking about a scented product, yes, daily.
Okay. David?
I do use colognes, but at the end of the day, I'd rather smell like nothing.
Fresh. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to douse the shit.
If I had the choice of smelling like nothing versus something, I'm going to choose the nothing because then it's neutral. Nobody's offended by it. Nobody's whatever. I find it funny. Like, so when we wash our clothes, usually people are looking for like the downy, fresh smell and so forth.
Yeah.
So that scent is on those clothes, right?
Yeah.
And then you're going to spray it with cologne. That's going to clash with that cologne or perfume
May
or
not,
whatever
yeah.
you're
Depending
putting
on how
on there.
long it lasts.
Yeah, and you start mixing all these different things, like if the beard oil has its
but
own scent and so
We're
forth.
surrounded with scents, right? Like the plugins, like fresh linens. Like that's the one we have at work.
Yeah.
Part of it was because when I started working at the company that I work at now, when I walked in, it had like a real like stagnant,
Yeah,
like
stale.
And I was like, man. And then basically I work with a bunch of dudes too, and dudes aren't really.
That's why it smelled that way.
Yes, the guys aren't. Man,
Should have put some mothballs in there.
No.
here's
I
what
smell your cologne, but
Yeah.
I also smell your feet.
So I don't think guys are as quick to like be very cognizant of scents. Like
Yeah, well, and see that's why at the end of the day, if I could just ensure that I didn't smell like anything,
yeah,
then there's nothing there. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Well, this is a good time to tell you smell like something.
No, I smell good.
Oh, there's
I
something
smell
there.
good.
Yeah. You
So,
smell like something.
Yeah, but I do wear a cologne. I paid a lot for that cologne.
How much?
Like about $350.
Damn. What is it? Tom Ford? What?
No, Creed Aventus. I got Creed Aventus and Creed Green Irish Tweed.
Damn.
Those are the two that I wear.
But does it have a culture in there to kill off the bacteria? For $350, it should have.
Well,
I
it
did
doesn't.
not-
It doesn't have any
yeah,
of
I
that.
didn't read it.
And Joaquin has Tom Ford. I don't know which one.
Yeah, Tom Ford's a pretty
And
prominent.
and so when we went to go get it, and I've stated this before. When I was a kid, I started making my own money. I worked with my dad, and I was making money, not a lot of money, but And my dad was like, "You're not buying that jacket. You're not gonna buy that. I don't have a $300 jacket. You're not gonna have a $300." And I was like, "I'm buying it, bro. I've been busting my ass with this money." So my rule with Joaquin was like, I am not gonna tell you to not buy it. I'm not gonna do that. I go, but man, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But he did it, and he was fine with it. Like he's cool, and it smells really good. And Tom Ford, for some reason, they gave us little samples and stuff. And man, you spray once and
it's
it
gonna
last all
Yeah,
day.
it's
Like
a-
it is.
It's
and that's
typically
not
now the one thing, and I'd have to pull up because I don't know all the different terms, but a lot of times you'll buy if you're spending typically the $60 to $80 type colognes, you want to look at it, and if it doesn't say actual perfume,
Parfum.
yeah, if it says the toilet or whatever,
Oh, the toilette.
yeah, that toilet stuff is only going to last about
Yeah.
2-3 hours.
It's
That's,
more
that's basically a spritz.
The eau de parfum is like more concentrated.
Yeah.
Can
And
you
if-
break that down?
No, I don't need to.
what they
I don't
mean?
need to. As a banking and finance professional,
Damn.
that's not my lane.
No, that's not your.
But as a fitness professional, maybe you can.
well, you should be a cologne professional if you spend $350 on cologne.
I just like the scent, and I know it's gonna last. And I enjoy it.
So I looked it up
And I
just because
evolved from that.
it's interesting. There's different concentrations based on what it's called. There's a perfume that's 20 to 30 concentration. There's eau de parfum, which is 20% concentration. Eau de toilette, which is 15% concentration. Eau de cologne, which is 4% concentration. So once again, the eau de parfum is parfum
Parfum is the
highest
Yep.
concentration.
20 to 30.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yes. Now I use cologne. I mean, I've always used cologne. Like I think since I was a kid.
But which one?
Right now, here in the past month,
The Michael Jordan. Picked it up at Ross.
I got a funny story. Like when we were growing up,
Adidas.
you know when you get about 13 years old, you start, cologne comes
Carrying.
into
Yeah, you start carrying them.
You start caring a little bit more. My oldest brother had
Cool water.
No, that was my older brother. My
Those
older
were all
brother
the
had
potheads back in high school.
My older brother had English leather, and I was
man.
I love that smell. And then my dad had Dracar Noir.
Yeah.
so in the morning I'd be like, tss, tss. And then he'd be like, man, who the hell's been using my stuff? And then so my other brother was like, we'd go to Trader's Village in Grand Prairie, right? And you can buy the crappy stuff, which is probably the whatever, the 2%, the cologne.
That's the cologne.
Yeah, and which is basically alcohol, right? You spray it and you smell it and it's gone.
Yeah.
And it was called it was supposed to be cool water. Right. But it was the same bottle, same color, but it was called Blue Mist.
Yeah, and then what was the other big time popular one growing up?
Stetson.
No, the J, it was like a greenish brown.
It was a J that was meant to look like an exclamation point or something.
Yeah, juniper.
Oh,
Whatever.
Hold on, that's a new sound.
Whatever it was. So if we know now that the cologne is less than the toilette and the toilette is less than the perfume,
Yeah.
then if you don't shower, you should be using the parfum.
Yes. So anyway,
Yeah, because you can use less. So essentially, at the end of the day, with regular parfum, if you're putting it on your wrist, behind your ear,
inside of your elbow,
inside of the elbow, you put it in those spots. It's all day.
you're good.
Yeah.
You're good for at least 8 hours.
So 2 of us use cologne and you not so much.
Well, even when I do that, I do have like there's a
Because I'm doing a rating on who is funky, and no, just kidding. Go ahead.
there's this what is it called? Have y'all heard of like there's a cologne that comes in a solid form?
What?
Like you can get a tin and it comes in.
Oh, yeah,
a solid form.
Yeah, I know it's targeted there for a little bit.
And
on those ads.
I have one of those that is like it's also like a bourbon, whatever.
Oh,
like
yeah,
cedar
yeah,
bourbon,
yeah.
leather. Like it's in that scent profile. So that is one that I use most often because most of the time the beard.
So it's
oils
like chapstick.
you just rub it.
the beard oils that I prefer.
Not putting it on his lips
and the
licking it.
and the beard balms that I prefer. They're always in that realm. They're like in cedar, leather, bourbon.
You live in a lot of realms.
Yeah, I do.
Pistoso.
Okay. Here's my other question that I was watching this video because that article had a video. And so in the comments, so anyway, I came across this video and it had these 2 ladies talking about, they asked each other, like, do you use a washcloth or a loofah? And these 2 ladies, they're like, no, what? No, I don't do that. Why would you do that? Blah, blah. And I'm like, you don't use a washcloth or a loofah? Like, what the hell? So my question to you, do you use a washcloth or a loofah when you shower? Or you just use your hand? DLH?
Oh, who you're asking me?
Yeah, as a fitness professional.
My goodness. You see what I got to deal with in this space? Neither. I
Okay.
guess, but it's there. Like, have you seen the ones that are like a silicone scrub? It's almost like a brush. So it has the same.
Oh, you stick it in there. You just it has bristles on one side and a cloth on the other. Okay.
Yeah. Bristles
Yeah.
on one side. You can usually
It's
slide.
not really a cloth though.
It's not.
It's all
not
silicone.
cloth side.
Yeah.
It's all. Yeah, it's all like silicone, and you can hold it on a single.
But
hand
but
and
it's
soak it
something
in.
other than just your hand.
Just right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, these 2 people were like, I don't know, dumbfounded, flabbergasted that people would use washcloths. They're like, so what do you do with it afterwards? It's like, if you use a washcloth, I mean, when you go to hotels, they literally give you a washcloth,
Yeah.
you know, and
then
you
you
just
gotta go-
use it and you leave it there and you rinse it out maybe, or you take the water out and just leave it there.
For that time.
That time.
But when you're done using it, it goes in the sanitary wash.
Yes.
Because essentially you should be removing dead skin
Right.
from your body.
Um,
And
David?
bacteria.
I do not use a washcloth. I get
Or a
grossed
loofah
out by
or
it. Or a
anything.
loofah because I do get grossed out by them.
Back to
like,
your-
like to me, They are almost single use. So unless you're throwing it in the washer and disinfecting
So you
it or
just use
anything
your
like
hand.
that, I will use my hand, or I will use something like silicone based, where I know it's not going to harbor the bacteria.
I'm with you. That's why I use what I use is because I don't like the idea of a washcloth or a loofah.
Yeah, it harbors that stuff.
Yeah,
and if you leave it there hanging, you can use it the next day, and it may not even smell gross, but you know it's gross.
Yeah, but all those dead skin cells go into the middle of that. That product.
And then also too, the other thing is, depending on your wash cycle, you may not be sanitizing that damn thing.
Yeah, but if you have a
Even though you
have a
think you are.
sanitizing wash, that should take care of it because of how hot that water
Yeah,
is.
you have to get it hot.
So
but a lot of people don't necessarily. People just think you throw it, put normal on your washing machine. That does not mean it's sanitizing anything.
I wouldn't go
Like
normal.
you got
I
to
would
put
go- I
you
would
got to
go
put other
sanitize.
stuff. But do you want to sanitize your regular T-shirts and stuff?
Yeah,
not
but,
all the time.
But
Yeah.
I do think that if you're gonna like debate on that stuff, the loofah is in my mind the worst of them because you don't put that in a sanitation wash, and that just stays in there and then dries and then
Yeah, but it's one of those that you just throw away, get a new one, and then
you
wait
do,
till-
but how?
but
what,
but
at what
after how
point?
long, and you still have dead skin that goes.
Yeah.
You know, it may
It's a lot
just
of
it might
plastic
just
going in the
be us,
landfill,
but
too.
that's the way I view it.
Yeah.
Is your dead skin
So-
going in the middle and just accumulating there.
I was there's a radio show I've talk about it all the time, right? One of the hosts said that he got grossed out with deodorant because he says he only uses deodorant halfway. He goes, because at what point are you rubbing yourself under deodorant?
Definitely at the end it starts to feel that way when it accumulates in the
Well,
edge.
hopefully you're putting it on after you shower.
Yeah, but he was saying is like at some point it becomes less. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he had a big deal about washcloths, all that stuff, deodorant. Like basically, this dude was a germaphobe. You know, like he didn't trust certain things. Like, and that to me was the funniest. Is like I only use deodorant halfway and then I toss it out. It's like,
yeah, I
That's
start
all it
falling in that category of I can get grossed out pretty easily. And
tell us
overthink,
about how you don't like people that lick their fingers. Why is that?
That's so damn gross.
That is
It's
gross.
like, there's nothing worse than sitting next to somebody that's over there grabbing from the community bowl,
so
and
don't-
then you hear them.
There's another
gross.
isolated soundbite right there.
So damn gross.
So this was my question when he first told me that, because I think it's so funny. I go, so if you're out on a date and the chick is trying to be real sexy, like licking her fingers, you're like, ew, that's nasty.
Yeah, that is
it's nasty.
that's not attractive in any capacity.
And it's like,
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean your fingers are probably in many ways
finger licking good.
they're the dirtiest part of you because it's what touches your phone and the toilet seat and the doorknobs and the like.
So along the same questions, what do you think is the cleanest part of your body?
The part that is probably less out in the open. I'm going to say right in the middle of your back.
Okay, what's yours?
Yeah, I would agree with that, or the chest.
No, it is the back. Yeah, I don't know why I know that.
Well,
but
it's the least.
Yeah.
It makes
Well, how
the
do
least
you know
amount of
that?
contact.
when they were discussing it, I looked up what's the cleanest part of your body. You know,
And you
'cause
believed it, didn't you?
Yeah,
But
it makes sense.
It's constantly covered. And
Yeah.
it's less susceptible to whatever's around you.
I also there's a comedian that said he said, you know what's the dirtiest part of your body? Which everybody's like, yeah, you know what your dirtiest part of your body is, right?
Your hand.
Your fingers.
No, it's your ass, right? He goes, here's why. He goes, take a shower, clean that area really well, walk down one flight of stairs, check back there, and tell me if you don't smell something. He goes, that's how you know.
Yeah, but you have to check that with your fingers.
I mean, that's what David does. Like, he doesn't use a washcloth.
And to think, some people are doing that and they're still licking their fingers.
That's why.
But that's why he doesn't lick his fingers. Now I get it.
It's all right.
Now that makes sense.
It's just gross.
Yeah. So I man, I think that we did it at the at Guadalupe Peak last time, and I just started bombarding him with a bunch of questions. I was like, okay, what if you cut your finger and it's bleeding? Would you not lick that? Because
what
your
good does
saliva
that do?
your saliva has natural properties that help it clot.
Okay, well then spit on your finger.
And he's like, no. And I said, okay, what about? So I had this whole long list of questions, and I was messing with him the whole time. I thought it was funny, and then
I would just glue it.
and the reason that came up is because we're it was Sunday morning.
Yeah.
We're having breakfast.
Yeah, at this Mexican
And
restaurant.
he was sitting across. I forgot who it was.
I know who it was.
Oh, okay. So that person
Say
had
it out loud.
Sonny.
no.
Oh, it wasn't Sonny? But Sonny
Sonny was
does it all
next
the
to
time.
you.
Yeah.
No, it was somebody across from you, and they spilled something on their.
Oh,
on
that
their
is
jacket.
right. Yeah.
And then,
But then Sonny was doing it.
and I
too.
said, "Hey, you have something on your jacket."
Oh,
It was
please,
like-
no, don't. Please don't tell me they put that part of the shirt in their mouth.
No, they said.
Yeah, so they basically
They
wiped
took
it off
their-
with their finger and
Yeah,
then stuck
they
their finger
took
in their mouth.
their index finger,
And then
wiped it, and-
meanwhile, we got community chips, and you have a bro like Sonny over there. Oh, it's so effing gross.
So, listeners,
gross.
if you're out and you see David, start licking your fingers, go up, shake his hand. He loves that.
Now, is all of that the behavior of finger licking, or is any of it
The smacking.
the mouth noises? I'm finding that in my
Okay,
I'm gonna call it old age. I hate mouth noises. If you're somebody who eats with your like mouth open, get the out of here.
Yeah, a lot of those things start sticking
we
in my
can't
head.
have this discussion.
all those things start sticking in
He's
my
like-
head.
he's
I have,
like, "Can
I
you
have
keep it
family
quiet?"
members.
Oh,
I have
man.
family members, same thing, and it bothers the heck out of me.
Yeah, it does. It does for me.
Okay, let's say, they're licking their fingers, but no noise. Like they're very quiet about
Still
it.
gross.
no, then it's gross.
Still gross.
It's
I don't
still
wanna-
gross,
so-
but the mouth noises
Yeah,
make
so-
it gross and aggravating.
So just to kind of describe, whenever I was younger, we'd go to a Chinese buffet, right?
Yes. Okay.
And I don't know at what point it was. I want to say maybe I was in high school, maybe I was an 8th grader or something like that. But there was a turning point where it was like, this is nasty. And I can go into a buffet and I can eat.
Buffets are pretty nasty.
A
I will
buffet,
agree.
but just because now I have to prep my mind. Like, okay, we're going to a buffet. My mind tells me automatically it's gross, so I have to like prep myself before I walk in. And I can be normal, but I have to, in my mind, prep myself before I walk in, because there was a turning point, and I can't remember when it was, but the turning point was seeing this kid sticking his tongue out underneath the chocolate water fountain at a Chinese buffet.
There was a chocolate water.
A chocolate water fountain at the dessert table, and this kid literally stuck his tongue out underneath that fountain of chocolate and poured some in, and it's like gross. Then seeing all these people in the buffet lines with the serving spoons and licking their fingers if they drop something a little bit, if they dropped a little bit of sauce on their finger, and then they grab the spoon, and then they're doing that. They're leaning over. There's people that smell the food like, oh, David, that looks really good. And then they lean over into your food
I've
and they
never had
sniff
that.
it.
I've never had
it's
that. I've
So
never had
gross.
that. Yeah.
People do that, and it's almost like,
Do you think you're a
take it.
germaphobe? Like
borderline. Yeah, borderline.
No, borderline. Yeah, I think you're all the way.
No, I'm
like
not.
you cross
No,
the border.
No,
I-
I can.
and you're all the way into
I
it.
think,
like I said,
I
I-
think I'm kind of in his camp though. Right?
Maybe both of y'all are germaphobes.
But also because, like, I hate when, especially if you know that they're when you see somebody leave the restroom, you're in the restroom with them, and then they leave without washing their hands.
Yes.
Right.
Well-
and then especially if you wind up giving this person a handshake or like whatever it is, and then like
There was
and then
a-
I'm gonna go and lick my fingers.
There
No.
was a theater in Amarillo that I refused to eat popcorn, even years after the incident happened. But basically, went into the restroom, worker comes out of the using number 2 and goes straight into that damn line. Now he may have washed his hands while he was out there under the concession stand because they did have a sink out there. But I did not see homeboy wash his hands, and he was over there gladly serving popcorn. So 2 years after that, I win, I still was not eating popcorn because of that.
Have you seen the movie Along Came Polly?
Yes.
I
There's a scene in that movie where Ben Stiller is in the restroom and he's at the urinal, and his boss is at the urinal, right? And his boss finishes up, and he goes behind Ben Stiller, and he's like, "Man, I'll see you out there." Just touching him, rubs his ear, and he's like. Another scene in that movie, they go to like a Mediterranean food where you eat with your hands.
Yeah.
And he is like,
that was Indian. That was when he was like
Indian,
hurting.
Yeah. Because they're just like, oh, just as Jennifer, has on a date with Jennifer Aniston, and she's like, "Hey, just dig in and eat," and he's like. Like, no. The same thing at a bar. I think people are eating the peanuts at a bar,
Chex Mix or whatever. Yeah, all of that stuff. And like I said, I can participate in that, but I do have to mentally prep for it.
Really?
Like if I know,
so then you have to be. I mean, you don't. I mean,
yeah, but it's not. I think that's what separates it from germaphobe, right? Because if you put a bowl of pretzels or peanuts on the bar or whatever, and I don't know because I haven't seen anything different. Especially, it's best if I see you put it down. You just got it and you put it down.
I know, but like,
then fine. But if I see anyone lick the salt off their fingers and dig back in, I'm out.
Yeah. That's kind of that's the category I fall in.
But the reason I'm saying is like I don't think anybody thinks that buffets are the most clean place, right? They're pretty. It's pretty bad. Like, but I've gone to buffets and it's like, well, screw it, it's a buffet, let's go. I don't have to get mentally prepared to walk in. I just know it's a buffet, so there's some shit you got to go through, right? But I don't sit there and go, man, I have to. And I think that's a little bit more than just like it's an inconvenience.
There is, and now with that said, I mean, when I say I'm getting mentally prepared for it, it's just pretty much the time before I enter. It's just more like thinking through.
Yeah, see,
it's going to be gross,
but I think most people
get
don't
over
do that.
Yeah, most people may not, and I think my phobia kicked in because growing up, my dad used to say, anytime we got sick. If I fell off my bike and I'm bleeding from my leg, my dad would say, "Oh, it's because you didn't wash your fucking hands." He would always do that kind of stuff. So anytime we were sick or anytime something happened, he would say that line. It was like, "Oh, it's because you didn't fucking wash your hands." And it's like, "Dad, I fell off the bike. What are you talking about?" Yeah. But all of that kicked in.
Messed up.
And then with my son, what's funny with him is I don't use that same line, but whenever he was young, he'd want to go to the restroom. And he wants to use number 2 at a public restroom, and I'm like, "Son, it's gross.
Yeah,
come on now, come on, it's gross." And then I would always emphasize washing his hands. And then I remember when he was in pre-K, they called me one day. And they're like, "Mr. Rodriguez, we're calling because Isaiah he's had his runny nose, right? But he'll as soon as he wipes his nose." With the Kleenex, he feels like he has to wash his hands fully, and because his nose is runny, he's washing his hands a lot, so they're bleeding.
Yeah,
and it's like, son, you don't have to wash your hands that much, but I know I instilled that, and I try to back away
just
from
enough to not get hand, foot, and mouth disease.
Right. So the two guys that I normally talk about, which is the cologne thing, right? One thing they used to mess with me about is because I had told them, like, I do have an issue using the restroom in public places, right? Especially if it's more than just going to take a leak. I go, man, I really have a problem with sitting down somewhere where somebody else sit down that I don't know.
Yep.
And then especially because men are the dirtiest, filthiest animals on the face of this earth. Right?
Women are pretty bad too, though.
I know, but like
They
can be.
But people are gross in general.
I know whenever I went to when my daughter was young, a couple of times it was her and I would go up to Dallas by ourselves, and and my wife wouldn't go with us, and so when we have to go use the restroom, right? She's like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
We stop at a gasoline station, and I would go up to the lady and be like, "Look, my daughter's gonna go use the restroom. I am gonna stand at the door. No one else is gonna go in, and I'm gonna put that sign that it's wet or it's being in use and stuff. I'm gonna put that in the front door. Are you cool with that?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's fine." Because one, it's your daughter, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That was always a big issue for me. Is like taking your daughter to the restroom when they're like 8, 9, 7.
I always wondered. I mean,
that was always like a big
thinking
issue.
through. If I had a daughter, like there's so many hurdles that
Yeah.
I feel you guys go through, and maybe it's not
Yeah,
that
'cause
big of a deal. But
you knock on
for
the
me,
door
it's
like, "Hello."
I don't know how I can
Anybody
handle it
in
with
here?
the daughter.
Yeah,
I don't know how I can.
No,
handle
I
it
would
with
grab
the daughter.
that tall sign it when they're mopping and they're in service. I would take that sign, put it in front of the girls' bathroom,
I would have got a sledgehammer and just
Yeah.
like,
and then I would stand by the door and be like, "My daughter's in there. Can you please wait?"
Yeah.
And then one year we're coming back, and there was a line. I mean, I don't know. It was probably a holiday, and so I was like, "Liana," I said, "Go get in that line. I'll get in this line, and I'll wait for you." And there was a mom there with her 2 daughters. She's like, "Do you want me to take her?" And I was like, "If you could, please, that would be awesome."
Yeah.
Because she's 7 and
Yeah.
she needs to use the restroom, and it's a line, and you can't do that. You can't just be like, nobody else is going in.
Yeah, and the guys are pissing all over the seat
Yeah.
and all that other stuff. Yeah.
And I'm not taking you in the men's. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like I had to do it sometimes, but I was just like, cover your eyes, let's run to. But yeah, they used to mess with me about that. But I get that going.
So bringing it back full circle, this is turned into more of a hygiene discussion.
Yeah.
Which it should have been, because
Well,
it's
Instead of just a
showers.
shower.
Yeah, I think this is a very crystal clear motion.
What is the motion though?
Stay clean, man.
Yeah. Wash your ass regularly.
So board approved.
Yeah, cologne optional.
Shower daily.
Showers not.
Shower daily.
Yeah, shower.
Yeah, minimum once a day.
Yeah, minimum once a day.
I'll concur.
Yeah, minimum once a day.
All right, there you go.
And I need you to hit that gavel real,
Yeah.
like you mean,
Real cleanly.
like you mean, cleanly. Do it.
Wash your ass.
Oh, that was weak.
Wash your ass.
No,
Board
we're
approved.
just board approved. Shower daily. There you go.
All right. All right.
Thank you, guys.
I feel dirty.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on your social media, and or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from us, you can follow us on Instagram and X. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time.